Hello everyone, I'm Christo Scriven. Welcome to the 2024 Reflection Workshop, Clarity and Gratitude. What to expect? You will gain clarity by using a simple method to review the year, which will help you connect the dots in things that have been happening, see the patterns that you might be missing, and prepare yourself for your new vision for the following year and the years that follow. And you will also cultivate gratitude. You will increase your understanding of your own path, your own journey, your own choices, the patterns that have got you there. And you'll be able to accept your unique journey and develop an appreciation for the highs and even for the lows. This is why it's important. Having clarity on the past clears your mind. It helps you make better decisions, increases your self-awareness, it integrates your identity. Now that's a deep point there. And it helps you plan better for the future. When you don't have clarity on the past, you are missing a huge chunk of what makes you who you are, how you've got to where you are today. How can you ever truly know where you are now if you don't know how you got there? That's how we make sense of our surroundings. That's how we map out our current circumstance and environment, by thinking about how we got to this point. And only through doing that can we realize the patterns and our behaviors and the environments, etc., that have led us to where we are. We're going to get more into this now. So step one, really simple. List the milestones the year. So simply jot down a list of all the milestones from the last year. Bit of a typo there, just point that out. I'm not ashamed to say that this happened very quickly. So just make a simple list of all the events, the successes, the failures, things you started, things you finished, etc. Just anything that happened that comes to mind. Leave a couple lines in between each point for notes, because we need to do that on the later steps. And don't try and do this perfectly. Just get it down. Just try and do it in the best way you can, but just start in January, go through the months. However you find that helps you to reflect on certain parts of the year. If you start with New Year's Eve, say, 2023, and going into New Year's Day and following the rest of the year. What are the things that you have done? Maybe trips you've taken, big events, meetings, anything like that. Jot down all the milestones. So you want to take about 10 minutes probably to do this. So you just pause the video here and take 10 minutes before I go on to the next slide. Okay, so step 2 of this, hopefully you've jotted down all the milestone moments. If you haven't done them all, that's fine, just the majority of them, so you kind of have a clear list of all the things that have happened in the last year. Pretty much everything that you've gone through that comes to mind that is noteworthy, that's worth taking notes on. So go through your list of milestones and note the highs and lows now. So write high or low next to the suitable points. So if something was a really good moment in the year, you write high next to it. And if something is not a very good moment, not so comfortable, not so beneficial to you, say, you write low next to it. And you can also add in any other high or low points that come to mind as you do this that you might have missed during the milestone section. Suggestion here, you could use arrows. You could just put a little arrow going up and down next to each high and low point instead, or you can use a colored highlighter to indicate high and low points. It's entirely up to you. This should be pretty quick to do this. So you should be able to do this in a few minutes, just to go through and say, oh yeah, that was a really good high point. That was a high point. That trip was really great. That trip actually wasn't very great. Maybe it led to certain realizations and things like that. Most low points lead to certain realizations, but sometimes you find yourself in a situation that it would have been better if you didn't find yourself in. So this is just about reviewing that. So yeah, take a few minutes to do that before moving on to the next slide, if you want to pause this now. Step 3 is consider your choices. So go through your list of milestones and high and low points from the year and consider the choices that you made that brought you to those moments. So there could be things that you decided to start or stop. So maybe you've been doing something for a while, you decided to stop it, it led to a certain outcome. Maybe you've been thinking about doing something for a while and you started it, led to a certain outcome, high or low, whatever it is. Or maybe something just spontaneous came up and you started it and you did it. And this comes into actions as well, actions you took or didn't take. Maybe you did go join someone on a trip or go to a networking event with someone, or maybe you did help a friend with this thing, or maybe you said something to someone that you maybe shouldn't have said, or said it in a different way, Or maybe you should have said something to someone, but you didn't. And because you did or did not do that thing, it led to one of those high or low points. And this, includes even choices that you didn't make. So a lack of decision. It's like a lie of omission. If you know the truth about something, but you don't tell the truth, you are lying. If someone asks you, no, not if someone asks you, but if someone's talking about something and you knew the truth of that thing, but you don't tell the truth, then that is a lie of omission or a sin of omission. So sometimes high or low points can come about from you not making choices, not making a decision, being like, I can't decide. So you have a lack of decision called indecision, and then you don't take any action. Okay, so consider the choices that led to these points. I'm just kind of rambling on about this point. I want to be a bit more concise here, and we'll move on to the next slide. So pause the video here. On to step 4, evaluate the environments. So every choice that you make is influenced to a certain degree by the environments that you find yourself in. So contemplate and note down the environments that led you to make the choices that you did. And this could be familiar or friendship environments, work or career environments, education, community, religious environments, or social media, things online, the environment that you find yourself in online that is influencing you in a certain way to make choices or not make choices that are leading to those high and low points. So take a few minutes to consider this and jot those things down if you have a bit of room there. You don't have to do this perfectly, just write it somewhere that seems natural to you, that is going to make sense to you underneath one of the lines to the side. So when you see it in the future, you will just know that that's what it means. This is the environment that led to this choice, that led to this outcome. So I'm going to go on to the next slide now. So take a few minutes to do this. Pause the video now. Step 5 is reflect on the patterns. Choices lead to environments, and environments lead to choices. And these make up the patterns in our life. I'll say that again. Choices lead to environments, and environments lead to choices. So think about the recurring themes in behavior and outcomes that you've realized from the past year. What specific kind of environments led or were leading you to better or worse outcomes? That's another typo there. The influence of others on your choices. Consider the influence that other people have on your choices. People having influence on your choices could be considered an environment. You may choose to spend time with that person, or you may not choose to distance yourself from them. Someone maybe has been in your life for a long time. It could be a family member, could be a friend, could be someone you work with, and they influence you in a certain way. And when you're around them, you make certain choices that lead to certain places. They could be worse or better places, but they lead to certain outcomes in your life. And here you just need to consider what those choices and environments are creating in your life. What kind of outcomes are they creating in your life? So take a few minutes, maybe 5 minutes here, to reflect on these patterns. Have I made a choice or been indecisive about something that's led me into a certain environment that has then influenced my choices in a certain way, made me make certain choices, or back me into a corner even, where I've had to make choices that have then led to. Consider these patterns, and you'll gain a hell of a lot of clarity and self-awareness. So take a few minutes to do this. Pause the video now before I go to the next slide. Okay, here we are at the end. We're going to be reflecting now and creating that gratitude, cultivating the gratitude and the appreciation for our unique journey. Excuse me. So step 6 here is the future lens exercise. So you might want to close your eyes to do this. If you've done it before, or you're used to doing mental exercises like this, meditation, visualization, those sorts of things, it might be easier for you, but otherwise it might be best for you to close your eyes and just try and focus on my voice and focus on how I'm guiding you through this. So imagine yourself in old age, like really old, gray hair, aged skin, and you're either maybe in your bed, or you're on your rocking chair, on the veranda, on the porch, wherever you want to see yourself, and you're content and wise. You're happy from that place. You've done everything that you felt called to do, and you're in a place of acceptance and gratitude already. Now, from that perspective, look back over this last year at the ups and downs that you have experienced. From that future self perspective, that wise and content place, look back at this year and see how you might perceive it differently from that future time. There could be things that you've put a lot of importance onto, that they've weighed on your heart and your mind very heavily. They're very heavy circumstances or situations for you, that from this future standpoint, might look pretty unimportant. There might be some things that you think are really important, and you think, God, I'm glad I did that. Like, I'm grateful to my past self for doing that thing or not doing that thing. Consider how things look differently from that different standpoint, and then bring that awareness, that understanding back to your current place. If you want to do this for a little bit longer, you can pause the video now before I go on to the next slide. But this is an exercise that doesn't take long to do. It's a pretty simple thing to do. Okay, so I'm going on to the next slide now. So, yeah, acceptance and gratitude. These two mindsets of acceptance and gratitude are intricately linked. You cannot be grateful for something if you have not accepted it. A lot of time people, when they cultivate or practice gratitude, they think about all the things that they like. And that's fair enough. The things that they enjoy in life to make them feel happy. And a lot of time, because they're trying to get away from the things that they don't like, the things that don't make them, they don't perceive as making them feel happy or being pleasurable or them enjoying those things, because you haven't accepted those things as part of your existence, a part of your journey. And that is the next point. When you understand that you're on your own unique journey and that there is a lesson or meaning that you can find it in every single thing you experience, you can accept every part of your story as just part of the unfolding of your life. If you watch a movie and you're watching something about someone's life story, if it was just all good things happening to that person constantly, there was no growth, there was no challenges, it wouldn't be an interesting story. But when we're in the moment in our own lives and we have all this emotion connected to these, we perceive our emotions to be so connected and attached to these things around us. It's very hard to have that perspective because we're caught up in the whirlwind of that emotion. But once you can accept every part of your story, the ups and downs, the highs and lows, the things that you find nice and not nice, or the things you like and dislike, they're all just part of your existence. They're part of your unique journey, your life, your story. And once you do that, you'll experience gratitude for all of life, not just the things that you prefer and don't. And if you think about that future perspective when you're older age, in old age and content and wise, and you're happy in that place that you've had a good life, and you look back over your life, of course there's going to be ups and downs. But would you choose to change anything? Would you choose to not experience those things because you know that those things have been a part of your journey? They've made you who you are. And it's hard to have that perspective, as I said, in the moment a lot of the time. But if you can come back to this other perspective, this broader perspective, zooming out, seeing things from different perspectives, it can help you to accept things that may even be uncomfortable in the moment, and then to appreciate them, to be grateful for those things too in the moment. Okay, going on to the next slide, which is about the 2025 vision workshop that I'm running tomorrow, which is the 30th December at the same time, so 3 p.m. GMT time. What you'll gain is a clear vision for 2025 based on your deepest values. I'm going to be helping you to define what those deepest values are. You'll become maximally motivated by creating and writing a vision out in a certain way that hacks your motivational internal drive systems. There are a few main motivational systems within ourselves that, when you know how to trigger them properly, you become maximally motivated. And this goes into discipline, because a lot of people see motivation just as a feeling, like a feeling that you want to do something. But motivation goes way beyond just a feeling. Motivation is the internal process that drives all behavior. That's what it is. So if you are disciplined, even if you don't feel like doing something, but you are disciplined and you still do it anyway, that's still motivation at work. Everything you do is motivated by something. So people say, oh, motivation is not it. You don't need motivation. You need discipline. Even if you're disciplined, that is motivation. It's just a different kind of motivation. It doesn't mean that you feel good about it. It means that you're doing it anyway. That's discipline. Discipline is a choice. Simple as that. Discipline is a choice. It's a state of mind. Motivation is the internal process that drives all behavior. And if you can create a clear vision, an anti-vision of your future, you will become maximally motivated, and you'll find it a lot easier to make those choices to be disciplined. And there we go. It goes back to choices. Your environments that you find yourself in lead to your choices, and your choices lead to the environments that lead to more choices that then lead to your outcomes. And those outcomes you either perceive as being high or low points. And of course, from a future perspective, you see those points as all part of your journey, but why would you not want to increase the amount of highs and decrease the amount of lows? Thank you very much for watching this. And this meeting and others like it will be running inside of the Phoenix Growth community every week, multiple meetings per week like this, where you'll get guidance on really important self-improvement and personal growth topics, and you have the chance to connect with other like-minded people that will encourage and inspire your growth and believe in you and help to keep you accountable to your own goals. So thanks everyone for watching, and I'll see you at our next meeting.